Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome. Today I'm going to give my first speech, which is Icebreaker, which is the one that tells you a little about who Ron Tickel is. In the process of doing that, since of my age and the short amount of time, I thought I'd like to take you on a journey. And it took me 56 years to get that, reach that goal at the end of the journey, and that was the journey to get my degree, which most of you probably got by the time you were 22 years old. But I'm a little bit different, so it took a little longer. Start off with, I was born in the District of Columbia. I lived in both sides of that province, or our nation's capital, in Virginia and Maryland. We moved around a lot. During that time, while I got back up, I have two siblings. I'm the middle. I have an older sister who's 5 years older than me, and I have a younger sister who's 2 years junior. As I said, we moved around a lot. And I started the first grade in Virginia. I did 6 months there. Then I moved in mid-year. I was sick a lot. And I'm somewhat dyslexic, meaning I reverse numbers primarily. Some people would argue I do more than that. Okay? So I repeated the first grade. So I didn't get off to a very fast start in my educational career. Because of moving a lot, I went to 3 elementary schools, 2 junior highs or middle schools. I went to 2 high schools and 5 colleges in that 50-year pursuit of a degree. My parents divorced when I was 10, so I went to live with an aunt in North Carolina for 4 years and then back living with Mom. My grades depended primarily on my effort. My effort was based on my attitude. And the attitude was fundamentally around, did I like the subject and did I like the teacher? And if the answer was yes, I got A's. And if the answer was no, I scraped by with D's. It's just the way I'm wired. Put a lot of effort in those things I like and not much in those things I don't. Well, the summer between the 10th and the 11th grade, because I was so brilliant, and because of my know-it-all attitude, boredom with school, and trouble at home, I packed up and left. Next year, after working a few months or almost a year in the world, I found out that the only thing I was ever going to get was those bottom, low-grade jobs with no pay. I tried night school. Night school didn't work for me either. That's classroom and homework. And homework was one of my downfalls. Again, back to, do I like it? If I do, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't. So I decided a major decision to go in the military. Military was great and it was horrible. One of the great things about the military, I got to do a lot of neat stuff. I got to jump out of a helicopter at 30 feet in the water. I got to go to survival school. That's where you can go out. All the things guys ever dream of doing, I got to do. I got the chance to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. So I got to do a lot of those things. It was not for me, though, career-wise, although I gave it a lot of thought. What I did do was, I did get what I went in for was a trade, which was absolutely worthless in the civilian world, and my GED. So I got out, I got a job, and I got married in a 2-week period. Wow. Yeah. Learn, there's the target, go get it. Okay. So, a year later, the month after I turned 21, my first daughter was born. By the time I was 27, I had 4 children, 3 girls and a son. I decided it was time to quit. I spent 10 years, after 10 years in telecommunication construction, I got promoted into management. This became a challenge. The last letter I ever wrote was to my wife before we were married. So I decided I needed to go to business school, take business writing. I took business writing. I found out that the company liked if you were doing something outside to improve yourself, college being one of those. So it was always for 2 pluses on your evaluation at the end of the year. So after Business Writing 101, I took others, and I kept going. I went for about 5 years. I got I ended up with about 15, 16 credits. But then I decided those 4 children needed a dad more than dad needed a degree for his career. So I took another sabbatical. At the time they were all about grown, I got a career offer to move to Illinois. So I moved to Illinois, accepted a job in a national training center. I traveled to 48 states. There was only the 3 daughters had moved out, so we moved with the son. That was a 3-year assignment. I moved back to my home company. At the end of that time, I picked up some more college classes. Going around every time I moved, I found a new college, picked up a few more classes. I went back to Illinois. After I went back to Illinois, after 2 years, I ended up with what I thought was going to be my last job in my last 5 years of working. And after 20 months, they offered me a parachute, and I took that golden parachute and jumped. Spent 3 years working on my own business and stuff. And then I met my wife, present wife, and I moved to Denver, started working for Quest. After 3 months, they offered me a full-time job, and I took it only because they agreed to pay for my school. So I took it, and after 6 months, started and finished my 4-year degree. So that's the journey. It took 56 years, and thank you.